All right, welcome everyone to our 2022-23 Scholarship Promotional Round Kickoff. This is an annual event that we do each year, and it's how we bring the information to you, our partner colleges, first about our eligibility changes, about new criteria, about all the new fun, cool things that we'll be doing with the scholarship this round. So my name is Sadhana Singh. I'm hoping a lot of you know me by now. I am a class of 2018 graduate from TheDream.Us. I attended Trinity Washington University with a major in communication, and that is what I do now for this fabulous program. I serve as Senior Communications Manager, working alongside our Director of Communications, Gaby, whom you'll hear from later on. So she and I will be your two MCs for today, if you will. I'll go over the scholarships and criteria. Gaby will present our fabulous promotional toolkit for you to use throughout the rounds. And then we're also going to be your main points of contact for promotion during this round. We also have a number of Dream.us staff with us. I won't introduce them one by one because you'll see we have expanded our team fairly recently. We're now up to a group of 10 on the Dream.us staff, and we're actually currently advertising to hire another. But other Dream team members will be in the chat. They'll be helping you with your questions, sharing resources, links, that kind of stuff. So shout out to my team who's supporting us here today. So a couple of housekeeping things. There are two instances to ask questions during my presentation. You all know the drill. You can either click the raise hand and speak to us directly, or you can just type it in the chat. One of my colleagues will read them out loud. And if you do have to jump off at any point, please know that yes, it is being recorded, and we will share the recording and the PowerPoints with you in the PC Weekly. And then you already received the promo toolkit today. I sent it by email, so I hope you all were able to see that. And so with the interest of time, I am going to go ahead and start us off. So let me share my screen really quickly. All right. So as you know, it's been quite a year for all of us, but this is something we can count on every year, our annual promotional kickoff. The Dream.us scholarships open November 1st every year. You know how people say things like rain or shine? Well, we can say rain or shine, or election or pandemic, or all of those things that have happened over the past few years. We will always be here on November 1st. So jumping right in, for those of you who are new partner colleges on the call, so excited to have you all here and to start working with you. We are the nation's largest college career access and success program for undocumented students. And pay attention to that second column right there. We are now up to 7,500 scholarships awarded, 2,100 graduates, including myself, 19 states plus DC, and 70 plus partner colleges around the country, and that is growing. So I wish I had like a button to press and there's like balloons that would come down to highlight all of you, all of the great success that you've done to make this happen for us. This is definitely collective work, and our scholars would not be so successful without your supports and encouragement. All right, so let's start with the National Scholarship. I'm going to go back and forth between National and Opportunity. And again, we will share all of these with you afterwards, so don't feel like you have to take notes or anything like that. So as I mentioned, scholarships open November 1st. The National Scholarship closes the last day of February 28th, and we announce those awards in late April. We do have two awards under the National, one for high school graduates where they get up to $37,000, and one for community college graduates where they get up to $31,000.
Hey, Sad, it's Candy. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're still just seeing your cover slide.
Oh, so sorry about that. Let me try that again. I'll stop sharing. Sorry about that, everyone. Thanks for letting me know, Candy.
Sure, happy to.
And then share.
And while Saad's looking for that, Saad mentioned that she and Gaby will be your point of contact. And while they certainly are managing all of our national promotion, It's actually your relationship manager who will be your point of contact for your local promotion. And many of the RMs are reaching out to all of you already to figure out how we can work with you to make sure we get the word out.
Thank you, Candy. Can you see this slide where the who we are?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. All right, this is what I just went over for the national, the dates and the awards. Yes. And then for opportunity, same thing, opens November 1st. Opportunity closes sooner than national. It closes in January 31st, and those awards are announced mid-March. So because the opportunity program helps undocumented students in locked out states, they have to relocate to another state to go to college. It is a significantly higher award. It is $80,000 for tuition, fees, on-campus housing, and meals for the duration of their 4 years. So let's talk about national partner colleges. We have 70 plus, and we've actually just added new partner colleges in New York, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and North Carolina. More to come. So we're super excited to have all of you with us, not only expanding our reach to scholars, but expanding in places that we know where a lot of undocumented students are there. And I just want to highlight one thing about our program overall. Our students, this right here, 94% first year persistence rate, 86% overall persistence rate, and an average GPA of 3.4. So again, this is where you would give yourself an applause because we've all made this happen with our students. They do very well. We support them holistically. And this is now a program that we know works as far as college success. And this is something we can highlight when promoting as well. For the opportunity partner colleges, you will see that we have our stalwart 4 partner colleges where students can choose to go to: Eastern Connecticut State, Delaware State, Christian Brothers, my alma mater, Trinity. And then while I have a little new sign by Dominican, they are not new to our program. They've been in our national program for a couple of years now, but they are new as an opportunity partner college. So now we have 5 opportunity partner colleges. All right, moving on to eligibility. So this is mostly what you came for, to see how things have changed. The most important part we like to stress when we're promoting this scholarship is it's not just for those who have DACA or TPS. We're still trying to sort of break that stigma of students thinking they need to have DACA or TPS to apply. For us, we have expanded and it's been broader year after year. So this year, we are accepting applicants who have DACA, have TPS, or if they are undocumented, they must have come to the country before November 1st, 2016. This criteria, along with this one, came before age 16, no criminal background, etc. That's all from the DACA criteria outlined by the US government. However, their year of arrival to the country is 2007. And for a while now, we've known that there's a lot of immigrants, young students that are coming over, after 2007, and they will not qualify for DACA and they do not fall under these criteria. So for our purposes, students can apply if they've come to the country before November 1st, 2016, and we'll cover that more later. All right, so this looks like a big scary slide of text. Basically what it is outlining the further criteria for the national scholarship. Our 2 awards for high school graduates, and then the other for community college graduates. So I won't read through all of these. Again, you have these references, you'll have this PowerPoint, this is on our website. But I do want to highlight where I put my little new stickers. So what I just mentioned, we changed the date of arrival for our purposes, November 1st, 2016, for both of these awards. And then this one, number 4. So previously, some of you may have known we had barred students from applying to our scholarship if they had already been enrolled in a 4-year university. And we realized that with this thought of expansion, reaching more dreamers, getting more folks the opportunity of education, we shouldn't necessarily penalize those that have already been in a 4-year college. So we've sort of taken that out, but with the caveat that you still need to not have earned more than 21 credits. So basically number 4 will stay the same, cannot have earned more than 21 credits in a community college, with the addition of 4-year colleges as well. And that's going to be the same thing for your community college graduates. They can have enrolled in a four-year college. They just cannot have earned more than 21 credits. Opportunity eligibility criteria, similarly, just want to highlight the same date up here again. And same thing, we do allow our opportunity applicants, they can have enrolled in a four-year university, but again, there's that credit limit of 21. And I believe I'm going to pause there and to take any questions that have come in, because I've just given you a lot of information. So Ireri, can you help me highlight some questions that have come in, or are there any hands raised?
Absolutely. It looks like we have no questions yet. So maybe let's give folks a few seconds. Feel free to, either put it in the chat or raise your hand and we can call on you. Okay, it looks like Charlie is raising his hand. Charlie, if you'd like to just go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate that. Sorry, I've got lots of sounds here on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Regarding the transfer students, so therefore, did you say, Miss, that if you have 21 credits or more that you're not eligible, or you need to have at least in that 20 range?
So you can't have more than the 21.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Charlie. I think we also had somebody trying to type it in the chat. Pablo, I don't know if you want to just unmute yourself and ask us a question, or if you're still trying to type it in. It's up to you.
I can say it out loud.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to phrase it though. So say for example, if a student begins in the fall semester and it's their first semester ever and they did not apply for Dream.Us, and say they're not a Dream.Us scholar, but they're still under 21 credits, can they apply and then become a Dream.Us scholar, say in future semesters?
Yes, that's correct. So if they're already enrolled, but they haven't crossed that 21 credits threshold, they can still apply to become a scholar going forward.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
It is
Thank you,
awesome. Yeah.
Pablo. Yeah.
Just to clarify,
All right,
let me do one quick clarification on that.
Okay.
So that not only can they not have had 21 credits at the time they apply, which could be November 1, they also cannot have more than 21 credits at the time that they receive the award. So that's before the fall of 2022. So it wouldn't work that I'm just under 21 when I apply, but then I take on a whole nother semester and I go over
Correct.
21.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, thanks for that. We have a few more questions coming in through the chat. Estefania, I see you have a raised hand. Let's go ahead and go with you while I read through the questions coming in.
Awesome, thank you. So my question was very similar to Pablo's, but then another follow-up question is, if a student, so if a student is transferring from a community college to a university, they would still need to have their associates, right? Must graduate. Let's say they were applying for next year or applying November 1st, they would have to have their associate's degree before transferring.
Correct. They would have to have their associate's degree by spring 2022.
Okay.
Is that correct, Candy?
Yes. And so it might be helpful if you go back one slide so we have the national criteria.
All right, go back. Yep, here we go.
There we go. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, we also have a question in the chat, Sadhana. If students don't have DACA or TPS, how would they prove to the Dream.Us they came before that given date?
Gotcha. Good question. In the interest of security, we do not collect any sort of personal documents or immigration documents from our applicants. However, they have to certify that that information is true in their case, and they would let us know that way on the application. So it's almost like an honor system, because we do not collect any of their immigration documents.
Thanks for that. And then I'm gonna call on Matthew Colson. If you're still around, I'm not quite sure what your question is from the chat. So if you maybe want to unmute yourself and just ask us your question.
Sure. Matt Colson here from Farmingdale State College. Hi, Candy. Good
Hi,
to see
Matt.
you.
Welcome.
We are one of those newbies and really excited.
Yay!
And well, thank you. I just wanted to clarify, much of this eligibility criteria you're going over is being reviewed by DREAM. So does that mean the student is hypothetically showing you, that transcript for you to see? Because much of this has to happen before the school of their choice is really even in the picture for you to determine if you're awarding them the funds, correct?
Good question. So for the national program, we tell them to apply to our scholarship and their college of choice at the same time.
Right.
So it's a concurrent thing that's happening.
So we're then kind of on standby during that time until we've received an indication that they are awarded the scholarship, which means that criteria has been confirmed by DREAM first. We would
Correct.
certainly counter review it right upon receipt to make sure we didn't miss anything, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Correct.
So Matt, what I would say is you're not on hold. So you'll be able to get applicant reports that show who has selected Farmingdale. And we want you, even when they're in applicant phase, even though none of us yet know if they fully qualify, to be reaching out to them,
Certainly.
to talk with them about eligibility, encourage them to come on campus.
Certainly, but at the end of the day, the decision is made by DREAM if they meet the criteria or not.
Correct.
Yes.
For the scholarship funds.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay, so then one more person with a raised hand, and then I think that can be the end of questions for now.
Awesome.
Colleen Murray, if you want to go ahead
Yes.
and unmute yourself.
My question was, how did you guys come up with the 21 credits, like that cutoff point?
I'll have Candy answer that one too.
What we are trying to do here is fund those students who have been able to start in a four-year university, but generally are going part-time because they cannot afford full-time enrollment. So if it's a student who is already affording full-time enrollment and you assume that they're earning 12 credits each term and maybe taking a summer course, that would put them at something like 24 credits. So our goal is to fund those who have started the four-year but not been able to go full-time.
Okay, thank you. My next question I had, if you could go back one more slide, please.
Sure.
I had a question about, it said that, you have to be in the United States before age 16, but you on top you said before November the 26th, 2016. So my question is, because I got here before 2016, but I was 18. So like the cutoff point is 16. So I was just wondering, like, how does that work?
Yes, it is both. You have to both come to the country before November 1, 2016 and have come to the country before the age of 16. And let me just explain a little bit on the November 1, 2016 date. The original DACA required that you be in the country for at least 5 years. And so that meant you had to have come before November 1, 2007. What we know now is that we have 98,000 undocumented students graduating from our high schools every year, and many of them will not have come to this country before 2007. So we adopted the DACA criteria in what I will say is in spirit, and we use that 5-year date. So our round opens November 1 of 2021. So we require that you have been in the country for at least 5 years before that, and you still have to have arrived before the age of 16.
Okay, thank you.
If I may add on the before the age of 16, one of the reasons why we adopted that is because many of the states that have in-state tuition policies require for you to have 3 years of high school to be able to receive and graduate from a US high school in order to receive in-state tuition. So because in-state tuition is important, And part of our scholarship program, this is one of the reasons too why we say you have to have come before the age of 16.
Awesome. Thank you, Gabby and Candy,
Thank
for
you.
that. All right, let me move on really quickly. I'll complete this portion and we'll get to the promo toolkit. So a super important part of the supports that we do for applicants around this time is our application guides. So there may be a ton of information on social media or on our website or in various PowerPoints you may see during the round. But the number one place you should probably go as an applicant or someone helping an applicant is to our application guide. And we have a national application guide and an opportunity application guide. So these are the key things you'll find in there. It literally helps you to determine your eligibility through going through all of those criteria and seeing if you really do qualify. It'll show you exactly step by step how to complete the application. And number three, it shows you how to submit and monitor that application status. So we know that a lot of students may just complete an application and they send it in and they say, yes, I'm done with that. And they never think about it again until, you know, they hear if they want it or not. But for our purposes, we want students and applicants to keep monitoring the status of that application. So for example, we work with ISTS, who manages and houses this application for us. In this ISTS portal where the applicant will get a chance to go into, they'll see, for example, if a transcript was rejected. And this is super important because if you go in there and you see, oh, my transcript was rejected, I can quickly upload a correct one or another file or something like that, and then you'll be good to go and your application will still be considered. So it's very important that you read this guide that shows you how to check the application status. We've even had, applicants go all the way through. They are awarded the scholarship. They just never went back to check the portal, or maybe they missed our emails and they actually did not know that they were a winner of the scholarship and they missed out on accepting it. And in those cases, we feel really sad that that person missed out. So this is the key thing in this guide. You'll find the way to check and monitor your application status so you can go in and fix things if they need fixing right away, fix a document if it's not been accepted, things like that. And of course, get notified that you have won the award if so. We also make sure to tell you that you do have to accept that award by a certain deadline. So again, students may see that they've gotten the award, but they may not know there are other steps they have to take to accept the award. And then we also require them to take the TheDream.Us pledge at that time. So this guide is something, you can download it, bookmark it, print it out, have it with you while you work on the application. And it's going to be linked on our website for easy access. So what are the parts of the application? So very straightforward, very simple. As I said, we do collect, of course, names, emails, that kind of thing, but we do not collect street address. We're not collecting anything that's too deeply personal. They do have to certify that they have DACA, TPS, or meet our immigration criteria. However, no documents to submit for that. We are going to look at the partner college you select and the information you provide from your high school and or community college. Now, one note for the line that's in red, we have removed the SAT, ACT requirement on our national application. However, it is still on our opportunity application, but it is optional. So for those applying to opportunity, it is optional. If you've taken the SAT or ACT, you can submit those scores there. Next, we're going to determine your financial need. We ask you a couple of questions here about your household income, how many are supported by that income, dependents, that kind of thing. Again, no financial documents need to be submitted, no tax information, nothing from the IRS. It's simply putting in the numbers into the fields in the application. And then we want to talk about the other parts of the application responsibilities. As you know, high school students, community college students, they try to get into volunteerism, community service, things like that. We absolutely want to know those things that you've been doing out in the community. However, being immigrant students, we know that you also have a lot of other responsibilities that may prevent you from doing community service. And we're calling those home responsibilities. So those are things like, you are the only driver for your family. You have to take your siblings to school and then you go to work, something like that. Or maybe you're the translator for your family and you help your parents navigate documents or phone calls or things like that. or maybe you look after your grandparent or something like that. All of these are home responsibilities, and we fully want to give you credit for those. As immigrant students, we know they can prevent you from doing things like volunteering and being in the community. And lastly, our 2 essays remain the same from year after year, but they are perhaps the most crucial. This is where the applicants tell us who they are, what drives them, what their ambitions are, why they want this so badly, what are they going to do with this education afterward. This is how we get to know them. So we always just tell applicants, do this ahead of time. Do not leave it for last minute. Have a mentor or a teacher or someone you trust to read it for you a couple of times. Do edits, that kind of thing, because that may be the make or break for your application. And the supporting documents that you do have to submit to us, for high school or GED graduates, you're going to submit official or unofficial transcripts to show your grades and your GPA. And then any official or unofficial transcripts for community college credits you may have earned. Again, SAT, ACT test scores only on the opportunity application and only if you've taken them. So you don't have to go take them to apply to opportunity, but if you have them, please put them on the application. And then for community college graduates, again, official or unofficial transcript showing your grades and cumulative GPA. So I'm going to bounce right into the timeline for these. National is up here first. As I said, they both open November 1, which is right around the corner. Opportunity does close sooner at the last day of January, whereas National closes the last day of February. And then opportunity applicants are notified mid-March, while national applicants are notified about a month later in late April. Another thing we stress as we promote this round is that we are more than a scholarship. It's not just about giving those dollars for us. We really want to support these individuals holistically throughout their whole student career and even to their actual careers. So when you become a scholar of TheDream.Us, you do join a national engaged community of over 7,000 scholars and graduates. We do provide a scholar and financial aid advisor at each college. Lots of you are representatives of that. We provide a mental health wellness advocate. So scholars are able to talk to someone if they're going through mental health struggles. And we have an immigration Q&A once a month with an immigration attorney. So scholars have an expert that they can go to ask questions and not have to necessarily pay or make an appointment or go through some of those anxiety inducing aspects of getting help. We also provide emergency and grants to help with DACA renewals, and then career connections. We not just want the scholars to graduate, but we want them to go out and get a great first job and to get set up in a way that will take them very successfully on the way they want to go after graduation. And throughout all of this, we are also working on state and federal advocacy. So we work, on tuition equity, we work on immigration policy, that kind of stuff. And so all of this is going on to help our scholars be successful, not only in college, but afterward. All right, and then this is my second pause for questions. So Ireri, let me know if there's any more that have come in.
Yep, how am I about this thing? We had a question about when do students need to accept the award once they've gone through the entire application process and have received it. What's their deadline?
I do not know that offhand right now, but it is going to be in a letter that they would get saying that they're awarded the scholarship. It will outline all of that with the deadline as well.
And I'll look it up and add it to the chat.
Okay, thank you.
And then we also had a question about the Dream Pledge. If you could just talk a little bit more about what that is.
Sure, yes. So the idea of the Dream Pledge came about being something where we can create a community around. As you know, if you go to an institution or a regular school, there's lots of traditions and lots of sort of little rituals that you do on campus that, makes you belong and feel like you're part of the community. For us, in the beginning, we've created the Scholar Pledge, and it encompasses such things as I pledge to help my fellow scholars, through the college process. I pledge to give back to the community. I pledge to stay enrolled and graduate, things like that. So it's sort of keeping the scholars accountable for their own college success, as well as working as a way to bond us all within the same community. And Gaby, I don't know if you wanted to say anything more about the pledge.
So we don't ask our scholars for specific things to do, but we do ask them to take this pledge. And when we do our regular convocation / new scholar welcome, we actually do the pledge together with all of them. And it's a really nice way, like Sadhana said, to create some sort of ritual with our scholars that brings them all together, and they have all the same goals and aspirations that we're asking them to do for the scholarship.
Thank you. And we can take one more question, Eddie, and then we'll jump over to Gaby.
Okay, perfect. Let me take a look. Okay, I think people wanted to know a little bit more about the application completion reminders or outreach and any info sessions that might be planned.
Got it. Good question. Yes. So as we say, more than a scholarship, we're also like really into hounding our applicants and our scholars. So they will get communications maybe from 3 or 4 places throughout this whole round. So ISTS, that houses the application, does send out weekly email reminders to them. They'll have different things like, oh, don't forget to upload your transcript, or don't forget to choose your partner college, depending on what's missing from their application. We on the TheDream.Us team are also going to be sending them communications, but we focus more on the encouragement side of things. So, you know, don't give up, keep going, you've got this. And we showcase that with, you know, our graduates who've gone on to do great things, current scholars, help them as well. So that's the kind of communications they'd be getting from us. And then we're also going to be doing a lot of social media through all of this. I usually get a lot of questions from applicants on Instagram, for example. So I'm sort of posting things on Instagram to help them, and I answer questions for them there. So they sort of get bombarded in different areas by stuff from us during the application round.
Thanks, Sadhana. And then a quick follow-up to that question is, are partner institutions notified of these deadlines, of this outreach, so that they can follow up as well on their end?
Great question. Okay, so for all of you here as part of our partner college teams, you receive the partner college weekly every Wednesday. It's a condensed email that the team and I put together, and we give you the most important critical information that you need to know every Wednesday. It's going to have a little space for scholarship promotion, and that is when we will be communicating all of those dates and events, all the things that we're going to be doing, and then all of the tips that you can do as well. So keep an eye on the PC Weekly space. That's where you'll see what we're up to every week, and you could either supplement what we're doing, help support us, or maybe take an idea and do it yourself on your own campus or in your own community. So we'll be putting lots of tips in the PC Weekly.
Perfect, Sadhana. I believe that's it. I did see that Candy added the acceptance deadlines, if you wanted to mention them just quickly before moving on.
Awesome. Yes, let's see. Okay, the opportunity acceptance deadline is March 27. And the national acceptance deadline is May 8th. So I'll put that in the PowerPoint when I share it later on, so you have those dates with you just in case. Thank you, Candy. And for now, I'm going to pass the baton on to my colleague, Gaby, and she's going to go through the fabulous promotional toolkit with you, because these are going to be hands-on things that you can do to help us promote. So take it away, Gaby.
Thank you, Sadhana. So the first thing I want to do is take you to our Dream.Us website. And when you go to our website, what you're going to see is this dedicated tab that is for our colleges called the Partner College Hub. And if you click on the Partner College Hub, you're going to be taken to another page that has the latest news. And this is where somebody asked where they can get those emails. You can get those emails by signing up to the PC Weekly. Sadhana is the one that oversees that. But if you are not seeing them, or if you miss one, you can always come here to the latest news to see your the weekly that we have sent out that week. But the other thing that you can find on the website is your promotional toolkit and everything that you're going to need in order to promote our website. So if you see right here, you have the national application guidelines for the national opportunity. You have logos. You have flyers in English and Spanish. You have our flyer that we're going to talk about later, and then some sample flyers. You also have quotes and graphics that we feature of the Dream.Us scholars that you can download and use as you see fit. But what we're going to go over today is our promotional toolkit. And a promotional toolkit is, like I said, on our website. You can click on it and it'll directly send you there. And let's wait until it loads. Perfect. So some of you have already seen this, and some of you who have not seen it, it lives on our website. Sadhana also sent it out by email and on the PC Weekly. You can download it and have it there, or you can just go to the website and reference it there. So the first part is the introduction. And in the introduction, we have our shared goals in our partnership. And it's in essence to provide access to college to students who are undocumented, an opportunity for them to excel academically and graduate to be able to join the workforce. We hope to achieve alongside you a 75% graduation rate. And we work together to face those barriers and challenges faced by dreamers in completing a college education. So the guidelines that we have is that we ask you to please refer your organization as a partner college. That's how we reference it to the students, so the students would know what a partner college is or a partner. We always ask for you to reinforce the different types of scholarships, because we do have 2 different types of scholarships and they're concurrently open starting November 1. And so in order to not confuse individuals, we ask you to please name them. So either if you're talking about the national scholarship, to talk about the national, or the opportunity scholarship. We also want you to please include hyperlink to TheDream.Us in any mention of us, so that the people who are looking for a scholarship can have easy access to our website. And we ask you to always try to include our logo so that there can be some consistency and people can know where they're going to as they're seeing our website or our materials. Here are some core messages that we like to use and that we use in all of our marketing materials. And this is on the Dream.Us website. We talk about us as more than a scholarship. We are the nation's largest college access and success program for dreamers. And we want nothing more than the opportunity to help students get a college education. We work with community of partner colleges to provide that opportunity. And with your partnership, you can talk about the pride that there is in having this partnership, and that if students attend your college, they can receive the Dream.Us scholarship. So the core messages continue. They talk about the scholarship and then how to apply, and the college support services that you provide. These are great messages for you to use, because they highlight the work that you do on your college campus and what you're doing to support and help students. We know that it's not for us a competition. We want for the students to go to the best college that they see fit. But at the same time, in order for them to see that, it's important for them to see what support services your college is providing our students. And really important to see is the new immigration eligibility criteria. As Sadhana mentioned, we have every year, we tweak it a little bit. Last year was November 1, 2015. This year's November 1, 2016. And it's important for you to mention that people need to have either DACA TPS or be undocumented and have come to the United States before the age of 16. So that they know that there is a broader criteria that we have, that it's more than just having DACA and TPS, but that there are some requirements for those individuals who are undocumented. Okay, so this is the fun part as you're doing the applicant outreach. And one of the things that we know is that more or less it takes about 90 started applications or 30 to 50 submitted applications to achieve the desired at least 10 scholars to attend your partner college. And this year we have great news, and that is that we're doubling down on the number of people that we want to give the scholarship to. So instead of 1,000 students this year, we want to go to 1,500. And the only way we're going to be able to do this is with your help. So we ask you to please have information on your college website about the Dream.Us and the Dream.Us scholarship. We ask you to please help us get the word out through local media using press releases, and we work together with a media company that helps us write these press releases, so we can do that with your media teams. We ask you to please reach out to local high schools and school counselors. We know that school counselors are the #1 way that undocumented students have told us through the surveys that we have done, that that's how they find out about the scholarship. So getting to those high school counselors are really important. And then hosting on-campus sessions where applicants can get help with their application. If you are now going on campus and you have some students that can do that. You can also, as Candy had mentioned before, pull from your ISTS portal applicant information and encourage them through emails, phone calls, etc., to finish their application. We can also, and what we have seen that has worked is to host parent-student session where parents usually are very involved in the education of the student. You can welcome those parents so that they can help their child fill out the application. Help applicants review their essays. What we have seen is college campuses have worked with previous scholars and have used those scholars as sort of mentors to review those essays, or individuals on campus that can do that. And then invite scholars to participate in sessions, applicant call banks, or media interviews to reach out to other students that look like them. And then the last two things is reach out your local community college graduates, encourage them to apply for the community college graduate scholarship. That's another good way to get the word out. And then make sure that when you are promoting, you're using the words undocumented dream or DACA TPS on your website, et cetera, so that those can be searchable words that when people are looking, they can easily find them. So as I said, press releases are a really great way to get the word out to local media and get media hits. The other way that we know that students find out about this is through parents and watching TV. Actually, Sadhana, the way she found out about this was a colleague of hers told her about the scholarship, and she had heard it on NPR News. So the media is really important. And here you can click on any of these and they'll take you to a sample of press releases that these colleges have done in the past. And like I said, we would be more than happy to work with you to get press releases out during this round. So we know that social media is very powerful today. And that young people are on social media and are finding out information through social media, are following certain hashtags. And so we have put some of the hashtags that we feel are most helpful. Right now, I would say that the most used hashtag in the immigrant rights space is the We Are Home. So hashtag We Are Home. So if you have certain amount of space that you can use, that's one of the ones that we recommend that you use, as well as streamer and undocumented. Here's some Twitter examples of what you can use. And you can reference this anytime. As I said, just going to our website. For Facebook, here are some media messaging that you can use for Facebook and Instagram. Here's what in the past, some Twitter posts that our colleges have used to announce the website and the opening of the scholarship round. They use some of the quotes that I showed you before. They use pictures of our scholars. And you're more than welcome to adapt these and use them as you need. Here's some Facebook posts. Instagram examples. And then we have flyers. So all of you will be receiving a stack of flyers, stickers, and business cards that can be used that are generic business cards with quotes in the back of our actual scholars about the scholarship. And you can use those, and you can also print more out if you want. You can download these images that are here or that are on our website to print more out if needed. For the opportunity colleges, this map here shows the 20 states which we are right now receiving applications from, and these are our lockout states. Really key and important to note that we have added new states, so please make sure that if you have the old map that you discard that one and use this updated one with the 20 new lockout states. In the past, we have sent out tabletop banners. We're not doing that this year, but you're more than welcome to download the image and use it as needed. And here are more posters and flyers. Okay, so on the website examples, every year we like to go through different websites and see what our partner colleges are doing to showcase the website. And on National Louis University website, they have TheDream.Us, and it is easy to find and user-friendly. It's on their financial aid tab, and they have a drop-down menu that is just for undocumented students. What also works from this website is that they list the resources aside from the Dream.Us scholarship, so they have other resources for students there. And the search engine takes you to this particular page if you use key terms undocumented DACA Dreamer on the National Louis search box. This one is Trinity Washington University. And what we liked about this website is that it has direct links to our website for eligibility rules, application, and dates of the round, so that there's no mistakes there. What we usually tell you all is to please help us by making sure that you tell people to go to our website to see all of our eligibility rules. This website also has scholar stories, which are really nice, and they show how Trinity is going above and beyond for their students. It has campus context, so it has emails, names, and titles and campus locations of where you can find individuals who know more about the Dream.Us website. And it has a nice and welcome message with 5 simple steps to apply to the Trinity as a potential Dream.Us scholar. Here's another example. It has our logo, it has a direct link to our website, and notes about qualifying for in-state tuition that is required for not only the institution, but our scholarship. So here are logos that you can use. And like I said, you can adapt some of the flyers and share them with us so that we can highlight them and also share with other individuals, and that we can put it on our social media as well. Here's the other scholarship logos that you can use. Okay, so that's the guide, the toolkit. And again, you can find it on our website. It's easy to access and use. And yeah, let's turn it to some questions on the chat, or if anybody has any questions, you can raise your hand.
Yep, Gaby, it looks like we have Stephanie Almancaco with her hand raised. If you want to go ahead, Stephanie.
Hi, thank you for acknowledging my hand raise, sorry. I have a question, and I really appreciate you bringing up all the efforts that you have done to promote this amazing scholarship. And the question I have is regarding language. So you did mention that you would like to make it more inclusive as far as how we can promote the scholarship, not just to DACA recipients, but also undocumented students. So therefore, my question is, do you think that promoting this scholarship as a scholarship for Dreamers is inclusive enough, or are we excluding when we don't include like all not all, but certain undocumented students who meet the criteria? I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes total sense, Stephanie. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. What I would say is that I would use as many terms as possible to, if you can, in your not just in your flyers, but in your communication, So Dreamers is a good way to include some of the students, but not everybody knows that term. So, other people know the term undocumented. And even now, because of the popularity of the DACA program and it being so much in the news, people know about DACA. So what I would say is try to be as liberal as possible with the terms and key terms that you use so that you can encompass and catch as many people as possible.
And I will add, because you are raising such an important point, in some areas of the country, the use of Dreamers is actually discouraged, and people really prefer the use of undocumented students. And we've tried to be sensitive to that. So for example, in the application guide that Gaby has mentioned, we refer to undocumented students rather than Dreamers. So it is more inclusive.
Yeah, I agree with you, because a lot of people, when they hear Dreamers, they automatically go to DACA and they don't think of anything else.
Thanks for that. I also had a question. Is there going to be a mock application for counselors that they can use with their students?
Yes, so we do share a preview link of the application. So essentially it is a sort of, you can flip through and go through all of the sections and things like that. However, it's not going to be a live link. So one thing we caution is please don't show it to students or any applicants because we wouldn't want them to, start applying at that link. But yes, there will be a preview link for both of the programs. Again, look out for the PC Weekly. We'll be giving you all of that in there.
Thank you, Sadhana. I think somebody also asked how they get signed up for the PC Weekly.
So each of our partner colleges, depending on where you are in the country, you have a TheDream.Us relationship manager. So for example, I manage the Virginia colleges. And so you will need to reach out to your relationship manager and they will get you added to our directory. And we then pull from the directory to send the PC Weekly.
All right, thank you. Those are all the questions that have come in. Should we give folks a few more seconds in case they want to raise their hand or put something in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely. And then while you all think about what else you want to ask, let me just share my last couple slides with you. All right. So we recognize that this is a very uncertain time for undocumented students and Dreamers, not only with the immigration aspect, but with pandemic challenges as we've all been going through. So, last round, we struggled a little bit to get the numbers of started applications that we needed to, have that robust cohort that we wanted to award. And this time around, we sort of expect the same thing because students may have hesitancy around, why go to college now? What's the point of getting a degree? Or, I'd rather continue to work and save money and help my family. So the messages that we want to put forth as encouraging them to take this opportunity is you belong in college. No matter what's going on in the world, a college education is going to take them very far and help them do a lot of things. And these are just a couple of bullet points that we put up here that we stress. And of course, you doing this work on the ground, you'll know exactly what to say in these situations as well. So we often say that getting a college degree will open careers for you that you've always wanted to do, will get you to those career goals that will support your family and yourself. And even if you don't have DACA, we know that career pathways are still available for those who don't have work authorization. There's so much going on with entrepreneurism, working as an independent contractor, working as part of a co-op. We are constantly seeking out those things to share with our scholars for those who do not have work authorization. So being in college, being a part of our program gets you to access to all of these opportunities. We know that any sort of DREAM Act or any kind of legislation that were to come out, whether this year or in the coming years, having a college education is going to give you a step up on that application and you will be ready to go, so to speak. And then lastly, no one can take your college education away from you. Once you have it, no matter the circumstances, you can carry it around and you'll have a college degree no matter where you go. Personally, my husband and I are both graduates of TheDream.Us, and we were able to take our degrees to Canada, where we now live. So thanks to this program, we've been able to advance ourselves to where we can move to another country and get more opportunities, get more access to things, and knowing that this college education that we got from TheDream.Us is what's kickstarted us on this journey. So these are the messages that we'll be telling to applicants, and we hope that you can share them as well in your own communities, depending on what you're hearing around hesitancy of students may not want to apply or want to go to college right now. And then lastly, I just want to say, keep an eye out on the PC Weekly, as we've been saying. I'm going to put a little section in there that says scholarship promotion, and we'll be giving you all those dates, all those events, all the things that you would need to promote, and giving you updates, things like that. We'll show you how to access your applicants in the ISTS portal so you can keep track of them. All those things will be in the PC Weekly. And as mentioned a couple of times, points of contact for promotion. First is going to be your TheDream.Us relationship manager, as I mentioned, and then largely myself or Gaby. So feel free to email us both, reach out to your relationship manager first, pull us all together. We'll be able to help you with that kind of stuff. And that's it. Thank you all very much for coming and being a part of this here today. Any other questions that came in before we close out?
We certainly had a couple. I know Candy is answering some in the chat, but I figure maybe if either one of you would like to just share it with the rest of the group. We had questions about, the first one is, given what the scholarship covers, some funds cannot be used for courses that do not count toward their degree. The question is that something that is communicated to academic advisors, but to if maybe you can just touch a little bit more on what the scholarship covers and does not cover when it comes to academics.
I'll let you take that, Candy.
Okay, so we do not cover courses that do not count toward the degree. And that includes development or remedial courses. Not all of our colleges have them, but some do. And so the idea is we just don't simply give students enough funds that they can afford to take classes that don't count toward the degree. We don't communicate that to your academic advisors, but you all can be communicating that to the academic advisors. We do tell our scholars this, and then the scholar advisor, our scholars are asked, we require them to meet with their scholar advisor once each term. And we're really going to start pushing on this because not all follow through. It was particularly difficult, I think, in the pandemic. But that is the time the scholar advisor can also be emphasizing this as you talk about what is their plan for completing their degree on time and with the monies that they have.
Thanks, Candy. You rolled both questions into one. So I think that's everything that had come in the meantime, Sadhana. I think that's it.
Thank you very much, Ireri. One question was asked, where do you locate your relationship managers? Good question. So when you go to the PC Hub that Gaby showed us earlier, you go to the PC Hub on our website, you click into the tab that says Partnership Toolkit. And right at the top is going to be a little graphic that says where to go for what. So you click on the where to go for what. It has a bunch of other stuff, but it also has who your relationship manager is within the TheDream.Us team. And then just to give a quick caveat there, we are reshuffling given our expansion of staff. So some of those assignments may change. So for now, you can go to that graphic and see who your current relationship manager is and reach out to them. So thank you all very much. Yes, it's recording and the PowerPoint. I'll add some of the other things that we mentioned today that wasn't in there, and I will put that in the PC Weekly next week. Thank you all very much for reading the PC Weekly, keeping up with all the stuff we have going on, and most importantly, supporting our scholars and undocumented students to this great program. All right, with that, we'll say goodbye. Thank you.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, thank you.
Bye all.